Viewer discretion is expressed for the following program. If you are easily triggered or offended, please exercise caution while viewing this program, because the hosts really don't care. Warning, this show is not for children, and not for coworkers either.
Everybody, welcome back to the show. This is rumble.com/JJW. Oh, I'm the happy dad. I'm JJW. That there is Mr. Grumpy Grump Butt over there, Deacon. And we meet here every morning at 6:30, give or take. We talk about the news, media, culture, pop culture, politics.
Are you sure it's at 6:30?
All of the different kind of drugs that go right up, anonymous president's sons. Anything like that. How you doing, Deacon? You feeling good?
Woohoo!
He's in a good mood. Well, we got an exciting and fun topic today. But before we get into that, what's going on?
I noticed this morning that was like, I didn't get to sit down and add any news stories last night because I was busy all night. And I'm glad you added something so that we have something to talk about. I was told yesterday at work, you got to go pick up Alex. You got to leave work early, go pick up Alex, blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right, that's fine. And she was like, we're going to eat with these clients tonight. We're going to eat this pizza buffet. So it wasn't like a fancy dinner. We're going to eat this pizza buffet.
All right.
I was like, all right, that's cool. I'm down for some pizza buffet. I don't care who I'm sitting there with. I'm down for some pizza buffet. So we go and we get there. And when we get there, we're having to wait. I don't know anyone there but Julie's sister, Ashley's sister, Julie, and their mom, but there's other people there. And so I'm cordial and I'm trying to contribute to the conversation, but I have no clue what they're talking about, the subjects, real estate and all this crap. I have no clue. And I don't know who they're talking about. All these people that Ashley and them collectively know, but I don't. I'm the odd one out. My brother-in-law was supposed to be there. He got sick. I was really counting on him to be there so I would have somebody to talk to, and he got sick and he didn't go. So I'm there by myself, basically, listening to all these people that all know all this stuff. So I'm there for 2.5 hours listening to this asinine, boring ass conversation that they're loving. They're having a ball, but Ashley's
talking about fixed mortgages, fixed rate APR, the inverse lending of the your brain is just, can I be off?
Ashley's sister, God love her, she's one of these people that don't take a breath. They're one of those people that if they stop talking, you think that they will explode. They've always got to be. And I'm kind of like that sometimes, but last night I was texting Ashley. I was like, oh my God, you've got to get her to shut up and leave. So, yeah. So I'm done.
Let me throw you a little trick I have from way back in my sales days, because I, like you, I'm an introvert, right?
Yes.
I'm totally happy being by myself, reading a book or whatever. Yeah. But in the past, I've been a salesperson before. I've had to do that kind of stuff way back in the day. And for a person that's an introvert to become like a salesperson on the floor, it's not super comfortable. Mm-hmm. So I would grab onto like little strategies that would like, let me make this easier for me. Here's the thing that I learned. I learned 2 things when I was in sales. One, enthusiasm is contagious. It doesn't matter what it is. If you exude enthusiasm about your topic and the other person has no idea what you're saying, it doesn't matter, because when you're speaking enthusiastically about a topic that you're so excited about and you're like,
to a point,
amazing. Sure.
To a
but
point.
Like, it's like a whirlwind. It catches them up and they're like, I don't understand, but this sounds great. So that's one thing I learned. Here's another thing I learned. People love to talk about themselves. So when you're stuck and you don't have small talk, just ask them questions. Ask the like, oh, what are you working on right now? And then just like leave it there, leave an open question, and then they'll just like dump load on you.
That was the kicker last night. It was like 2.5 hours. I was uncomfortable. I was ready to go. And then she turned around and looked at the people at the other side of the table and said, "So what about you guys?" And she started to ask them a question. And I just kind of moved Ashley. And Ashley's like, "Well, Kendra's fixing to get off work and we're going to have to go." I was like, and then as we were walking out of the restaurant, Ashley turned around to try to explain her actions to me. And I stopped her. I was like, "You don't have to explain. I got you. We're on the same page. And I love you." Thank you for doing that for me.
You just got to understand. I've reached my limit of where
I was at my limit. I was trying to be pleasant. And then I would notice that I would look down at my phone and I'd start scrolling and doing something. And then I would realize that I'm the asshole looking down at his phone, not participating in the conversation. I would close my phone and I'd look up and I'd smile like this. Just completely oblivious to anything that's going on.
Pardon me. I'm not trying to be rude. I just don't care about anything
I
you're saying.
don't care about anything that you're saying. And then the guy over there at the other end of the table was like, "Nice to meet you, new guy." And I'm like, "How am I the new guy? We've been together a decade." Nice to meet you too. All right, so that was fun. It was fun to have to deal with people that do something. Yeah, I'm not good at that. I'm like you. I'm an extrovert or an introvert.
An introvert, yeah.
Yeah, I'm very much an introvert.
It's okay. I mean, look, you just got reasonable limits, right? Yeah, everybody's got reasonable limits.
You can learn that extrovert stuff because when I became on the morning show, I had to learn how to be an extrovert because I was not one. But I had to go, "Hi, how are you?" Be that kind of person. So
basically a rodeo clown.
Yeah, a rodeo clown. That's all radio people are, really. All right, let's get to speaking of radio and songs and stuff. For those of you who don't know, I have worked in music my entire life. I have been in radio, morning show radio, for almost 30 years. So I'm glad to see you. I know more about music than I do about my family and their birthdays and what they like and stuff, and that's pretty sad. So it is. One of my favorite bands of all time that I know more about this band than probably my children is a band called Fish. And I was introduced by this band by a buddy of mine that I hadn't seen in a while. And we got to meet last week and have some coffee. And it was really cool. So I thought, let's dedicate this week to some good Fish songs. But you're only getting album cuts. I'm not giving you live cuts because you, the Fish noob, are not ready for album cuts yet. One day, Grasshopper, you will be ready for the live version of Fish, but you're not ready. You're only ready for album cuts right now. There's an album that came out when I was in high school. This is probably 91 or 92 when Hoist came out. But it's a CD called Hoist. Great freaking album. It's got a lot of really good stuff on it. This song is a JJ jamming, feel good, smiling, waiting for all the time when I can finally say this has all been. Yeah, that's the lines. Waiting for the time that I can finally say this has all been wonderful, but now I found my way. Waiting for the time. I can't remember the last part of it, but one of the lines in the song is a line from the concerts that a bunch of hippie fish heads know. 1,000 barefoot children outside dancing on my lawn. So listen to "Down with Disease" from Fish. It's a pretty grooving song, and it's a pretty little happy song, and it's got a nice little guitar. It's pretty sweet.
It's got a good little a little beat. It's upbeat.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. I always liked "Down with Disease."
Right.
It was one of those early Fish songs, and it's weird how the ones that I'm introducing you to are the ones that I was introduced to and kind of fell in love. These first 3 songs that I've given you were the ones that I was like, cool. The one tomorrow is called Gumbo, and you're really going to like that one too, because that's one that I was like, so you'll like this stuff.
Okay. All right. Now,
Yeah.
Deke. Here, did you already? Yeah, he did it. Deke's in charge of changing overlays, I think.
I'll
I'm just
try.
gonna say that.
I'll
I
do the
forgot to put
overlays for that stuff, but you do it for everything
I
else.
forgot to put this up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's what is it? Wednesday morning. Wednesday morning, we got a fun and exciting topic. This morning. Here we go. Biden policies and child slave trafficking. Oh my God. Okay, here we go. So I was gonna I swear I went to bed last night trying to think how can I turn this Secret Service FOIA's topic into another cocaine and hunter joke? And I woke up and I saw a tweet from Ian Miles Chong. Do you follow Still Gray on Twitter? Probably not.
I don't think so.
He's probably like one of the top, 50 most influential people on Twitter in terms of that social media space. So here I was on Twitter and I wake up, I see Ian Miles Chong. He interacts a lot with Elon and other people kind of at the nexus of Twitter. He wrote this, just shocked that he would do this. And then he has a screenshot from a news article or perhaps a Substack, I'm not sure. Biden Department of Justice removes international sex trafficking of minors as an area of concern. So this isn't a link to a story, and I was a little bit like, what's going on here? What is this? Still Gray? Is this kind of like a meme? Are you doing a thing? Are you're just trying to burn Biden a little bit? So I Google it. Oh boy. Now I don't listen to this podcast, but I know who the fella is. There's a guy named Steve Bannon, and they have a show called War Room. You may have heard of that one. And on War Room with Steve Bannon, Natalie Winters exposed that the Department of Justice removed international sex trafficking of minors from areas of concern. So the Department of Justice has a website of things that are important. And they took this off of their website. And I thought, well, is that true? I don't know. So here is the Department of Justice website. Child sex trafficking refers to the recruitment, harboring, transportation, provision, obtaining, patronizing, or soliciting of a minor for the purpose of the Commercial Sex Act. Okay. Well, it still has child sex trafficking on there. And this is the Wayback Machine. And on the Wayback Machine, it included child sex trafficking of minors and domestic sex trafficking of minors, child victim prostitutes. In fact, this is a lot longer webpage.
Why? What's the part? Okay, what's the conspiracy? Why they would take it off? I'm not.
I'm not sure. Other than. I don't know. You have to guess why the Department of Justice changed their website to remove content, to remove areas of concern. This is subject areas. So in the child sex trafficking subject area of the Department of Justice, of the scope of things that they investigate, it is now a 5-paragraph page, where previously it had subcategories including domestic children and international sex trafficking children. Now, remember, Deacon, it is alleged by some that, there's this ring of child predators, you know what I mean? We have Epstein Island, we have the, Democrat.
It seems to me like there's blatantly obvious proof that there's child predators in the government, there's child predators in Hollywood, there's child predators that control corporations and that have a lot of power, and these men in power realize that all of this information is getting out there, and they're trying every way that they can to suppress it the best that they can. All right, even down to killing people that are trying to get out the information. Now, I know that's all theories and whatnot, but every damn time somebody, one of these people that's like has a little bit of power or has it's seen the game, tries to do something to expose it, they have an unfortunate accident or they die by mysterious, they had
Right.
they had a heart attack at 24 years old. I don't know. It was weird. They was just at the end of their life. It's
just
strange.
randomly happens.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, kind of like there's multiple different stories that you could spin up to explain this. And I don't know what it is, but one of those stories certainly could be that the Department of Justice has got some corrupt actors in it. And don't we have other stories that kind of corroborate that story? Don't we have other kind of things that have happened in the news? Like, the way that the Department of Justice sits on a case for 5 years and then does a plea deal with Hunter Biden, but we have this guy that's willing to testify against the Biden crime family, and as soon as he posts a video that says, "Hey, I'm staying in Israel and I'm not going to go over there and be in your jurisdiction," and the Department of Justice immediately filed charges against Gal Farah, I think his name is. I'll have to go check his name, but we have evidences that the Department of Justice is not acting quickly on things that are seemingly very big, but they would seem to move very quickly on things that might implicate certain politicians. So, that's definitely one story that maybe the Department of Justice has got some corruption in it, and they're trying to
the whole fucking place is corrupted. The whole goddamn place needs to be burnt down, the ashes, and needs to start all over again.
All right.
No,
I mean,
there's no way to fix anything in our government. There's no way. There's just I don't believe there's any way. There's too much corruption.
I mean, more people, more corruption. That's the way it's going to be. The greatest way for you to have more freedom and for people to have more freedom is for there to be less government.
Fucking just leave everybody alone. Yeah. Go do your shit.
Okay. Well, that was fun. That's so fun.
That's a terrible topic. I don't like that. But you see how much they're trying to suppress that child sex trafficking stuff, even with this movie. The movie's going crazy, and the media is trying to convince you that it's a bunch of MAGA. All you crazy QAnon people are liking this. Why are people cheering? People are cheering at the end of this movie like it's Top Gun. That's what one of the fucking articles said. It said that he was making fun of the people. He was like, boomers are cheering at the end of Sound of Freedom like it's Top Gun. And I was like, do you not realize how fucking moronic and retarded that sentence just made you sound? That made you sound like the most retarded individual I've ever heard of in my life. Slow as hell. Don't even catch what you said. That's how slow you are.
I mean, we have enemies out there, dude. Like there's a bunch of bad people. I saw, talking about the movie you're talking about, I saw an article yesterday that like some of the mainstream movie critics, they're boycotting the movie. They don't even want to go watch it to put a review out about it.
Because all those mainstream movie critics are probably diddle little children too. Ooh. And are probably would be exposed if they went and saw that. So any of these people that are downing this movie, in my mind, they want to have sex with little children. That is the reasonable
alternative hypothesis.
That is my hypothesis. If you are dogging the Sound of Freedom, that movie, in my simple hit country, Kentucky country boy mind, I like my sister. She's real pretty. In my simple mind, that's what it equates to. If you don't like that movie, you must like to have sex with children.
I mean,
prove me wrong.
Against child sex trafficking.
Prove me wrong.
And you're against that.
And you're against a movie that's against child. So you're in
Yes.
favor of child sex trafficking. Is that the wrong way to look at this? I mean, I'm just trying to. I'm doing what my teachers taught me to do. Get down to the brass tacks.
That may be true for like mainstream media, for journalists, for I don't know, especially social media influencers. but it does not appear to be true for the moviegoer, for Joe Q. Public. We talked about The Sound of Freedom a number of times. You know, this is a movie that has like, I don't know, $20 million budget. Does not have big boots, but this movie is punching up. It is overperforming compared to major studio tentpole movies. And it's not going to gross more because it doesn't have the machinery of Hollywood pumping it out there. But look what it is doing. The Sound of Freedom tops $40 million over the last weekend, and it earned more money per theater it was in than Indiana Jones 5. Did you know that?
I think it's great. And I like Indiana Jones, and I like every movie.
Yeah, you like all the Indiana Jones
I
movies.
like all of them.
Look, I bag on Crystal Skull a little bit, but I watched it once in the theater, and I haven't seen it in like 10 years or whatever.
I've seen it like
maybe
5 or 6 times. I've seen that movie like 5 or 6 times. I like the movie. I like Jar Jar Binks. I thought he was what he was in the movies. I'm one of those people. I'm not a fucking follower. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just not a follower.
It's well, okay.
I like to make my own.
Multiple people just react to Jar Jar and be like, I don't like that. That's not following.
A lot of it is, JJ. A lot of it is not forming your own opinion. You're going with the opinion of others because humans are creatures of that want to fit in to crowds. So whether you don't, they don't. There's a whole group of people. Majority of people don't have their opinion on stuff. Their opinion is what someone else has told them to think. That's been our whole lives, JJ. Do you not realize that? Our whole lives are what other people have told us to think, and it's still happening today. The reason you like the music that you like is because some fucking man told you to listen to it. Some man gave you that option, and that's the only option, because that's the argument I used to give all the time, that they're out of that album with 15 cuts on it, the man only told you to listen to 2 and only let you listen to 2. But there's freaking 12 other songs on there that are great that you've never heard before. And it's the same way with everything. The reason you hate Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is because they told you it was a shitty movie. They told you, and you're like, oh, I guess that's a shitty movie. I'm not going to go watch it. Or you watch it and you're like, yeah, that was a shitty movie. You go in with a biased opinion. The reason people hate Jar Jar Binks is because he's been hated on all these years. But if you go back and watch the fucking movies with an open mind, you see the role that he fit in the whole overall story. He was I'm not going to argue this again. I'm wasting my breath. Let's talk about Sound of Freedom. This is awesome. Jesus Christ.
I'm allowed to have my opinion of Jar Jar.
I'm not saying you. I use you a lot. I say you.
I'll be a proxy for the
scapegoat.
Audience.
Yeah, you're my scapegoat for the general public. So I apologize to you.
All right. No.
That's
okay. Over the weekend, Sound of Freedom earned $6,388 per screen it was on, which was more than Indiana Jones 5, which earned $5,760 per screen it was on. Currently, this is from Breitbart. Currently, Disney Grooming Syndicate's Dial of Destiny is playing in 4,600 theaters compared to 2,852 for Sound of Freedom. So, Sound of Freedom is it looks like they put it in the right number of theaters for it to be tracking in the right way. I mean, I think whoever's running this project is doing a really, really good job, and this movie's going to be profitable. Profitable, unlike massive wastes of money.
Yeah, but
I mean,
is that what they're doing it for? Because if so, I'm going to be really fucking disappointed.
No.
Make profit? Is that the only reason that they made this movie is to make profit? I understand that it's profitable, and that's great that it's profitable.
You can't make a message in a movie and that movie fail. That's not going to happen.
Good.
So if you want to get your message out and you put it in theaters and then like nobody watches it, then your message goes nowhere because the this public sentiment is, oh, that's a bomb. That movie sucks. Nobody watched it.
I'd like to
It made
know
no money.
where a majority. I understand you got to pay people, and people have to live and feed their children and stuff that worked on the movie and whatnot. But I'd like to see what else goes with some of the monies, like Jim Caviezel and Mira Sorvino and these super rich freaking actors and actresses and stuff like that. What are
Yeah.
I mean? What are you going to do with some of your? And I think they all took like the base pay. What do they call that?
They work for rate. I think like whatever the base rate is. And for these guys, especially for Jim, I've listened to Jim on I think some clips from Jim, and Jim and some of the people on this project are definitely in this for the mission. And the mission is get this message out there that this is something that's happening. And shut and stop and join the active kind of public sentiment of shutting this down, and whatever that means. Although you're not going to be able to do that with the Department of Justice if they don't care about child sex trafficking. So and Jim Caviezel's definitely in this for the mission.
He's Jesus, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, he put his career like in the blackout zone. He played Jesus, and then he's doing this, and he's done some other things, and like that's what happens if you're a man of conscience and you make decisions based on what you believe. Okay, I think Deke wants to stay on this for a second. Good morning, everybody. If you haven't already, please hit like and subscribe. Leave a comment in the thing down below. Oh boy, what a day. What a day. What a day. Let's see if we got some other stuff here to talk about. Let's see. Dial of Destiny might have come in second place in the weekend gross haul with 26.5 million. And Sound of Freedom might have come in third place at 18.2 million. But Sound of Freedom is doing a better job of packing them in. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Now, you know what I heard also? Dana White of UFC, he's buying tickets for all of his employees, and he's encouraging other business owners and other, leaders to do the same thing. Get their employees to the theater to see this thing, support this movie, support this message, and, advance the cause of protecting children. Let's see. I mean, I don't even know what else is in theaters. I mean, I'll see Indiana Jones eventually, but who cares about that? Why? There must be a good reason why the Department of Justice removed big chunks of their child predation stuff on their website. Don't know what it is. So we have, let's see. I want to stay here for just a second because I think Deacon has something he wants to say about this. Have you guys seen, where is the chat? Hey, have you guys seen Sound of Freedom yet? I could play the trailer if you haven't seen it.
How'd that make you feel? Giving a child his freedom.
I mean, honestly, this looks good.
Felt good.
This does not look
You have been at this for 12
rinky-dink
years.
at all.
It's not.
This looks really good.
You need to go watch this movie.
Why are you doing it?
I mean, I want to.
I
but,
cried like
the thing.
3 times in this damn movie.
Because God's children are not for sale.
Wow. Look, he said that line.
It is the fastest
that
growing
is a-
international crime
That was
network
true.
the world has ever
That was a true statement he was making there.
It's hard for me to hear you.
Honduran kids in Colombia.
This job.
That line, he's talking to this cartel guy, and I'm guessing this guy was real. Hey, there's Thrawn. was real. But there was a cartel guy that did stuff for the for some Mexican cartel or something. He did money or something, and he got busted and he went to prison and didn't say anything and didn't rat anybody out and went to prison, served his time, you know. And when he got out, he tells the story, and it's a pretty powerful story. I'm not going to tell it because you need to watch the movie, but he ended up getting children, posing as someone who is a pedophile, a rich man who's a pedophile, and getting the children from these traffickers, and then he frees the children and gives them a new life and gives them a new name and stuff. And he meets Tim, and they're talking, and he goes right at the end, he's trying to figure out whether he wants to work with him or not because he knows all these pedophile traffickers, and he's trying to get the traffickers. You know, and he needs this guy's help. He's testing him, and he asks him, "Why are you doing this?" And he says, "That's the line that he says because God's children are not for sale."
That is like a mission you can believe in, but it'd have to be something you believe in to be able to be like, "Oh, I'm just going to pretend to be a pedophile."
This dude, no, you got to see the movie to see because think at the part that I thought it was over, I leaned over to Kendra and I was like, "Oh my God, it's not over. He's really going to go do this," and she's like, "Yeah." And so after he goes and does this second part of this movie, I'm like, how the fuck did you do that? That's after I found out it was true, I was like, this is a true story? How did he do that? Weird.
Nuts. All right, well, we're not going to stay on this all day. We got some other things to talk about. I thought you had something else you wanted to say on the topic, so I stayed here. It's on the radio again. All right, we're going to move on. We have let's see, minor update on the Secret Service and the White House cocaine scandal. And White House says that they cannot comply with a Freedom of Information Act request on cocaine. So
that's unfortunate.
Jason Leopold put in a FOIA request, and the Secret Service said, "Nah, we ain't gonna do that,
bro. No, we ain't gonna do that.
No thanks.
Cool.
Thanks." Now, the reason they're giving is because it's currently under investigation. This is the final response for your Freedom of Information Act request received by the United States Secret Service for the information pertaining to emails, text messages, photographs, memos, letters, directives, and intelligence bulletins, threat assessments, after-action reports, suspicious activity, open source intelligence, social media monitoring reports referencing the cocaine found in the White House. West Wing of the White House. The letter read, "We regret to inform you, we cannot comply."
Oh,
Secret Service.
Sad. We'll never find out who Hunter's cocaine belonged to that was left
We're
at the
never
White
gonna
House
find
by
out.
Hunter.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of Hunter, here's a website called LifeSite, and they're posting this article. It turns out the infamous Hunter Biden laptop, the entire contents of which have now been published online by an anonymous source. Oh, no.
A hacker did that? Wow.
I don't know.
They can do that kind of stuff? That's weird.
Thousands of copies are being downloaded every day, making the content available to governments, journalists worldwide, and bypassing major media attempts to basically pretend this thing doesn't exist. So we'll see if other people post more photos of, I don't know, some other exotic places that Hunter filmed himself with prostitutes and cocaine. So we'll see if that turns up. Don't know. There's no link to the download the laptop in the story. That would probably break the law. Okay. Deke, you have a MyPillow, right?
I bet that's
Don't you
not
have a
hard to
MyPillow?
find. Yes, I do. I love it. It's my favorite thing in the world.
All right. I
sleep with
saw
it
this
every
story
night.
this morning.
Yeah, I saw this.
The CEO of MyPillow is now auctioning off equipment because sales are dropping.
Actually, when I saw this, I thought, and I still need to tell Ashley, I want her to order a couple more so that I can stick in the closet. If they're not going to make these pillows anymore, I want to buy a couple because the one that I have is still just as freaking fluffy as the day that it came. You know, and I've had it for a couple of years, and I swear to Jesus, it is just as fluffy as the day that I came. It is just it. This is my favorite pillow, and I'm 46 years old. I've never had a pillow like this before. So this is how much I love this freaking pillow. You sleep a third of your freaking life. You're constantly sleeping and resting, and your neck and your whatnot. So this thing, if you don't want a comfortable night's sleep because of some fucking stupid ass political, if you want to be stupid, that's fine. I'm not. I'm going to buy this pillow.
Toss and turn, that's your problem.
Yeah. I'm going to buy an extra My Pillow because I love mine. And it's not because I'm a Trump supporter. I love MAGA. It's not fucking it at all because I don't think Trump should run.
Well, I mean, if Trump doesn't run, the DeSantis campaign is imploding.
How I feel.
I know. Look, I know how you feel about it. But we also have a child predator up in the White House. So
at this point, I'm just taking a dart and throw it at whoever you hit with the dart. Fucking put them in there.
Yeah.
Is Harry Reid still alive? Fucking put his ass still in there. I'm okay with that right now at this point. Well, he's probably.
Mike Lindell has faced multiple lawsuits stemming from his election fraud claims, and court ordered him to pay $5 million to a forensic software expert. And he also is facing a lawsuit from Dominion Voting. And
isn't it hilarious how all that shit happened too? That they stole the fucking election, and then everybody that calls them out, they sue their asses into the ground, and the corrupt justice system sides with them because the justice system and the judges are just as fucking brainwashed as everybody else by the media.
Well,
it's hilarious. Well, I mean, it's a beautiful little chess game if you look at it.
The judges are like, well, I mean, we can only go based on facts, and these facts have been reported by the news, and you're like, the news is lying all the time,
all the fucking time.
Yeah, and was the election stolen? I don't know. It definitely was rigged because Democrats have played a smarter ground game. And
Republicans.
No, I haven't, Deacon. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Well, you should probably watch that movie and sit down and watch.
I will. It's on my list.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounded just like you.
Well, anyway, Mike Lindell is auctioning equipment. He's saying it's because of cancel culture and because Walmart and Bed Bath and Beyond and
big box stores stopped
carrying their stuff, that they had to reconfigure their business to do direct sales. And for direct sales, you have to pack differently and ship differently, and so they don't need some of this stuff. And some of it is financial stresses from not having as many sales. That's going to be true. All right.
All I know, I've had a back problem my entire life. I love my pillow. If you want one, if you want to sleep good, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Promo code POSO. The DOJ is also charging whistleblowers instead of actual criminals. Yeah. I really want to get to this, to the Biden company whistleblower. I sat through his 15-minute video. I was like, there's no way I can do this in the morning with Deacon. Deacon will not listen to this guy for 15 minutes while we tell this awful story. And
Biden?
Then have to no. So I don't know. I thought about doing a different video about it. Hey, Deke, I know you care about this. Former Charles Manson follower Leslie Van Houten.
She's out.
She's out.
She's free. So for you guys in the San Fernando Valley on Twitter or on Twitch,
lock your doors.
What's the Tinder? I keep saying the wrong one.
Tinder.
Yeah.
Tinder.
Does she still have the swastika in her head?
I'm sure.
If so, that's a deal breaker. If she don't have it anymore, that's a deal breaker.
Yeah. Former follower of Charles Manson, who was convicted in 1971 for 2 notorious 1969 murders, paroled and left state prison in California on Tuesday. Apparently, Governor Newsom was just like, whatever, not my problem.
And everybody stopped. He's done it before. They stopped her every single freaking time.
Right.
Every time that she's come up for parole in the past 40 years or whatever, they've stopped her. The governor is stopped.
Look at these crazy women. It's a good thing they don't make women crazy like that anymore, right, Deke?
This is just you took the words out of my mouth. This is just proof that this stuff was around 50, 60 years ago, it was around 150, 60 years ago, it was around 250, 60 years ago. I read an article one time about it wasn't a composer that we know, but it was a 17th century composer, and I can't remember his name. I will never be able to remember his name. But it was about how over there across the pond,
Europe.
he was so big in the 1700s that these young women would throw themselves at him, much like the women do today at concerts. And that's what they were talking about, how there's documentation of this guy and how women would just do this all over the place. And it's not just women, but people are easily convinced of things. We've brainwashed people on the radio before, just for fun and experiments, just the way that you use your inflection or the way that you talk and some of the ways that you say and whatnot. You can change the way that people think and the way that you position your words and the way that you say your words. And so some people are very good at that, and some people are very good at being susceptible to that. So earlier when we were talking about it's easy, you only like what a man has told you you're like. They've used those tricks over the years. I always liked the news. If you'll look at the news this way when you're listening to your newscast this afternoon, okay? Look at the way that they organize the news stories. How this story is up against this story and what follows this story or what was before this story. They all look like 2023.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. Can you not just imagine, these are like lunatic protesters talking about we're men and trans
rights matter.
Yeah. You can just imagine, put this photograph in color and she's got pink and purple hair.
Yeah.
This woman back here is like, these bitches are crazy.
She is.
And this guy's like, well, to be honest, this guy right here, he's like, she got a big butt.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He's looking at her butt.
Yeah. But you can see it, dude. I guess this is Van Houten on the left because she's got the X there. Oh wait, she's got the X too. Okay, so they are all
had
crazy,
the X. I think this
I don't know which one
here
is Van Houten.
I think
you think it's the one on the right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's her. She has the same eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, we could be living in the evolution of humanity where men and women are now women, men and women, something in between, non-binary, or it's possible that there's men and women and crazy fucking people.
Hey, you had a story that I saw that I have had stuck in my secret server for 2 days that I was going to bring. And
which one was it?
And I was like, oh, JJ found the penny story.
Oh yes, I got
that
right here.
All the coins.
I put this in here for you, right?
I know. And I had this story saved in my secret in Andy's secret stash, Deke's secret stash.
Here we go. A man discovers 700 Civil War coins worth millions of dollars buried at his Kentucky farm. He was just out digging, I guess. He probably had a metal detector or something like that. I don't know. A man in Kentucky hit the jackpot. He discovered over 700 coins from the Civil War era. The findings have been nicknamed the Great Kentucky Hoard and include a group of 1863 double eagles and hundreds of U.S. gold dollars dated from 1850 to 1862, and some silver coins. Let's see. This is the most insane thing ever. There's hundreds of these $1 coins, and then there's some $20 coins and $10 gold coins.
Some guy somebody buried them there to hide them from somebody. They were getting robbed or something. They buried them there.
I wonder if that was in a chest or a bag or what.
It could have been in a bag that deteriorated. It very well could have been in an old flour sack or something that could have very well deteriorated. Or he could have just shoved them in the ground, dug a hole and threw them in the ground real quick. If you're running from people that were chasing you and you're trying to get away and you knew, throw them real quick, throw some dirt on top of them, keep going.
I mean, this is pretty cool. So he's got, so you can see this little like certificate case. So it's like sealed up, like one of these. There's a $20 coin sealed up in this case. It's got like a barcode. It's like in the same position or same condition it was when it was removed or whatever. So it's never going to change from this. You can see it's got a little bit of like rust on it. I guess that's rust. Probably not blood, right? It's probably rust. Gold doesn't rust, so I don't know. But that's cool. But look at this. He's got tons of these things. And each one of these is worth thousands of dollars. Like even the $1.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
There
super
you
cool.
go, dude. That is awesome. So I like to do genealogy on my family. And my great uncle, when he came back from the Civil War, he had money. And he opened up a little general store and a little bar and this little store and whatnot in this little place. And they called this little town Ragland.
Okay.
And he like was the owner of the town because he owned the general store. He owned this. He helped build the church. He did this. And that's how towns got started back then. So if you worked, and this is not unusual. This is how stuff happened back then. Let's say you lived around there and you worked in the general store or you farmed in that area. The money that you got were that man's who owned that. He would print his own coins. So my great uncle printed his own money. All right. So they had these coins. My last name is Rudd. They had these Rudd coins that he would pay his people with, and then his people would shop in his general store and they could use. So they would, you see how that worked? And that wasn't unusual for towns to be working like that back then. So we had always heard that my aunt had a couple of these coins in her safe, and we could never get her. She lived down in Tennessee. We could never get her to even admit that she had the coins, but everybody else said that she did, because me and my brother were the last of the sons of that bloodline. My father was the only son. We're the last, and we each have two sons. So we were like, it should belong to our sons because they are the last of this blood of that man's bloodline, going down, carrying the name on. She wouldn't give them to us. So my brother was talking to a friend of his one time at a party, and his guy was like, he's like, blah, blah, blah. He was like, he said his name and he was like, man, I got something I want to show you. And he went back to his safe and he had one of those Rudd coins. And he said that he had found it. His brother had found it. And when we started figuring out where his brother lived right in that area where the general store used to sit. And so he said he found that coin out in his yard one day digging, and he had found that Rudd coin. And that guy, after Logan called me, my brother called me, and I told him the whole story. I was like, that's got to be our great uncle's coin because he lives right there. It's, Rudd, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So the dude gave my brother the coin.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's
really I thought
cool.
it was really cool. I was like, we finally got one. So when I saw this story, I was like, this is really awesome.
And the thing is, there's probably like a bunch of them dumped somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere in because Dad said that there used to be that they said that in that general store that they were used to be a bucket or a barrel, and it had a bunch in there because they weren't worth anything. They were probably just slugs. They weren't made out of gold or silver or anything. They were probably just a thing. It's a metal slug of some sort. Yeah.
I honestly think that's a really cool story because it's a kind of a microcosm of a small community economy. Mm-hmm. He had stuff and he wanted to trade, but he needed labor from other people, needed people to work, whatever. And he set up a store and he set up kind of the distribute kind of a bank, really, of and people could work and get these coins or make trades and get the coins. And basically these little coins in a small community were an exchange of labor and time.
Yeah. And that's what I told, them talking about my aunt not giving us those coins that one time. And I was like, it's not like they're worth anything. You know, you take
Right.
them to somebody and they're going to be like, I give you $10, you know, because it was made in
Yeah.
the 1800s, you know.
Yeah.
But I said, but it's priceless to me because
Yeah.
it was my you know, because I'm a history person and it's my immediate family, so it's priceless to me. Why won't you? She don't even feel that way about it, but she's passed on, so I'll never get those now.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
man.
but when I
And
saw the
there's
story, I thought you'd
there's
like
a
that.
tangible like interest about that will never exist for any of these digital cryptocurrency coins. You know,
Yeah.
that Bitcoins and Doge and like all of those coins that are just like, you know, I think they're, you know, some of them have value, some of them don't, but they will never be a historical thing. Like, oh, I found a Bitcoin, I found a, you know, a
I
Doge.
remember
What?
I remember like 15 years ago, it was, I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago, a buddy of mine that was really into computers, he had his own computer store and everything. He told me, he said, a friend of mine is doing this thing called Bitcoin and you should really get into it. And I was like, oh, really? And he was like, yeah.
Man.
He bought a car. I was like, what do you mean he bought a car with he was like, blah, blah, blah. And he was trying to tell me about it. And I was like, that's silly. And I didn't get into it. I was like, whatever.
Yeah. I when Bitcoin was like first starting, like early 2011 or whatever, I didn't really have a lot of resources, but I downloaded this client to like do mining or whatever. And at the time there were Bitcoin faucets, and I had like somewhere like 0.005 Bitcoin or whatever.
Really?
And yeah, I did. And then I like,
You're not-
you know,
You didn't do like that guy in England?
If I
that
had
had-
$100, I would have invested it, but you know, I didn't have $100 to like, you know, just like play around with it, whatever.
You didn't do like
And,
that guy in England that had like hundreds of Bitcoin in that freaking computer that got thrown away in that landfill, and he's been for like 10 years. He's been looking every
Just
day.
digging
He's
in-
digging in
he's
that
never gonna find
landfill.
that.
Yeah, for that $100 million fucking Dell.
You know, the first transaction of Bitcoin, I think, was for a slice of pizza or for a pizza, and it was like 40,000 Bitcoin for a pizza.
Oh my god!
Deep,
All right, I got
we're-
one.
we're-
If
you
you
got
don't
one more
have a
thing? 'Cause
story, I got one more.
I got. Well, I was gonna say.
I got a good
I don't
one. I
know
got a
if you
secret
know.
story for
There's
you.
a new Ahsoka trailer out. Have you seen the new Ahsoka trailer?
No.
You interested?
Yes, but my story's better.
Okay, do yours thing. Do
All right.
yours thing.
Have you ever heard of the rock band Motley Crue, JJ?
Motley Crue. Are they boaters? Are they on the cruise ship band?
Yes, there's a bunch of jesters that boat. So Motley Crue was known. I can't show you the story yet because you're going to see the headline. It's going to give it away.
Yeah.
I got to set it up. So Motley Crue was known for their outrageous parties, right? Tommy
Okay.
Lee, the drummer, was married to Pamela Anderson, and they had the sex
Right.
tape, and they had all the crazy, and Mick Mars and Vince Neil, you know, crazy stuff. And there's actually a Netflix movie about them that's pretty whacked out, but it's pretty good. Motley Crue, if you watch documentaries, anybody, they were nuts. Crazy rock band. Well, Mick Mars has something, if you're a Motley Crue fan, has something that you may want from back in their crazy partying days. All right. Mick Mars is selling a Motley Crue stained couch from the 1985
Ew.
tour on Craigslist. Now, wait a minute, JJ. You might be
$500.
throwing up in your mouth right now. But wait, let me let you throw up a little more as I read this article to you.
Okay.
Legendary
Oh my god.
legendary guitarist. To those of you that stuck around to the end of the show, this is extra bonus just for you
This is
that everyone else
nasty.
gets to miss today. Legendary guitarist Mick Mars of Motley Crue is selling a couch used by the band during their 1985 tour. That's right. Mick Mars is selling a gross, smelly, diseased, DNA-stained couch. Wait a minute, it gets better. The couch was removed from the band's tour bus after the tour
Disease.
ended. Yeah. from the band's tour bus after the tour ended and has been in Mick Mars's home studio ever since. Who wouldn't want to own a Motley
Bro,
Crue stained couch? Well,
you
wait a
kept
minute.
this thing in your house for
Wait
30
a minute.
years.
This is what he does. You hadn't got at the end. Yeah, Mars placed an ad on Craigslist recently offering the couch for $500. The ad stated a gently used, slightly stained couch. So at the end of the 1985 tour, Mars immediately wrapped the couch in a plastic slip covers. The couch,
Wow.
adorned with the countless mysterious stains, tells the tales of rock and roll debauchery and wild nights spent with the crew. It's like a time capsule of excess and mayhem, all neatly wrapped in plastic. So can you imagine what this couch smells like?
No. That's gross.
So the 30-something-year-old stains got DNA companies, fans, and
Wow.
collectors drooling at the thought of owning a piece of rock.
Hey, you want to clone Motley Crue? You want to make your own copies?
A bidding war started that included Ed Sheeran, the DNA website 23andMe, John Mayer, and even Motley Crue drummer Tommy Lee. At last count, the bidding went from $500 to $50,000.
They're bidding on what's that website? It's not eBay.
I don't know what they are. I don't know.
You said where it was before. I can't believe this is nuts. This is crazy.
Craigslist?
Yeah, Craigslist. They're bidding
I'm
on
sure
Craigslist.
he's put it on something else other than Craigslist now. It goes on to say, it says maybe the DNA belongs to Heather Locklear, Pam Anderson, Razzle, Apollonia, Cameron Diaz, or Shannon Doherty, not to mention Tommy, Nikki, Vince, and Mick.
Oh, they're definitely there. Yeah, maybe I can done them or clone them and start like a Jurassic Park for Motley Crue. Yeah, exactly.
So let me finish out the story here so that you can get all of the vomit in your system this morning out. Okay. So you think that I was done. You're not. I'm not. Mars was recently thrown out of the band and is now liquidating all of his crew memorabilia. I hate those guys, said Mars. Those guys make me sick, and I don't want anything around that reminds me of those fools. Plus, I need the money. Besides the couch, I have a bottle of Tommy's vomit, Vince's stained underpants, and Nikki's bowel movement. You too can own a piece of rock and roll history.
Bro, what? They make you sick? They make you sick. You kept poop. You kept poop and vomit. What do you mean they make you sick? I'm sorry, you just have to live with 30 years of regret. That's what you have to do. Oh, Lord.
So there,
disgusting.
Just one more look at the couch there.
Yeah, so Deke, I don't know if this came across earlier. I am actually not a Motley Crue fan.
You're not a Dr. Feelgood fan?
Don't care.
You, man.
That's nasty.
Girls. Come on.
Nasty. All right. Do you want to see this Ahsoka trailer? Or
you
no?
liked the secret story, didn't you?
That's horrible. I think maybe we have to go out on that.
Yeah. We can watch the Ahsoka. Let's do the Ahsoka trailer tomorrow, and I'll have a Star Wars story for you. I've got a good Star Wars story. Yeah.
We'll do that.
I got one for you.
Oh, my God.
So join our Discord server and tell us how much you would pay for Motley Crue stained couch. I've got a stained couch, but it's like Kool-Aid stains from when the kids were. Yeah. And I'm like, please don't bring the red Kool-Aid. What are you doing? That's not going to come out now. So, yeah, I've got that, but that's about all the stains we've got.
So Sinister Minister put a couple jokes in the Discord server yesterday. He put in, he's been reading a book on levitation.
Yeah?
He can't put it down.
Oh, I saw that coming. Oh,
yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. You got one?
Deke,
yeah.
I got one. Do you know why milk is the fastest liquid on Earth?
No.
It's past your eyes before you know it.
Oh, Lord. That's dumb. That's a dumb one. You shouldn't even
All right.
laugh at that. That was dumb. You gotta get another one. Hey,
Right.
recently I asked my wife if the cup was half full or half empty, and she
Okay.
said, "For the last time, stop wearing my bras." Isn't that pretty funny? I thought it was funny.
What do you call a cow with no legs?
I know this one. I don't know.
Ground beef.
Oh, that's right.
All right.
One
You
more.
want the last one? Here you go.
Yeah, me and Ashley last night before we went to bed, we got into a fight about the dumbest thing. We fought about circles. It was a completely pointless argument.
Oh, jeez.
I can't hear your boos.
I can't either.
Oh.
Oh, daggum. All right.
One
well,
more?
Hey,
You want
thanks
me
for
to do one
watching.
more?
No,
Instead
because I
of
have
that
to
one?
reset this thing.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Do one more. You can
All
have
right.
one more.
Just an FYI, koi fish travel in groups of 4. Did you know that about koi fish?
I
Yeah.
did not.
Yeah, in case of an attacker, the A, B, and C fishes scatter, leaving the decoy behind.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow, 6:30 in the morning on the dot.
Yeah.
Or
on the dot.
on a dot.
On
See
a
ya.
dot.
I pushed the wrong button. This is the right button.